MeatCanyon is a super popular animator. You've probably seen one of his videos or a few over the years from him absolutely dunking on your favorite content creator.
This is the 6th car you've given me.
Oh my God.
In fact, he's kind of the main animating channel across all of YouTube. So today I wanted to make him a custom DVD, not just for his Toons, but for his also new manga series, Melvin's Macabre. A topic that's recently been trending for the past couple months, if not this whole year, is people are starting to hate on streaming services, mainly because it feels like cable TV now, where you don't actually own any of the artwork you buy, unlike CDs, DVDs, vinyls, and other physical art forms. A channel I thought made a really good video about this is by Chon Digital, where they talk about how physical art forms kind of making a comeback, so links in the description, definitely check that out. Essentially, everything is so digitized that the way we experience art is become super repetitive and the exact same. Like when you're sitting down to watch this video while you're eating lunch, you probably didn't realize you went to youtube.com, you looked at the home tab because that's the abyss where everyone goes to find a new creator, and then you clicked and watched. Compared to physical media where you had to go to the store, physically interact with it, interact with the artwork on the front, read something on the back, even whatever is on the inside except there's no pamphlets anymore. Then put the disc in and then you actually watch. And with everything being online, everything happens so fast, that experience part, of the artwork has been nearly removed, which ultimately changes how the audience or viewer experience the art. So people just go from the next to the next to the next thing because it's all in one place. It's on YouTube and Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and Apple TV, Hulu, Peacock, Pluto, Tubi, Max, Fubo, Sling. So with this topic being of interest, I thought it would be cool to take something in the digital realm that's just on YouTube and bring it to the physical realm because we've lost it. Then people could actually own what they buy. Plus, I think this would really fit MeatCanyon's vibe. Two designs, actually. We're gonna go with the best of MeatCanyon for the first one, and then the second one, we're gonna do all of the Melvin's Macabre manga series because that is new, and I personally enjoy the series a lot, and I thought it would make sense to be a completely separate DVD. Now, I cannot draw remotely close to the style of MeatCanyon. That's his style. Plus, I have no experience drawing. So for this project, I'm pretty much going to be outsourcing all the illustrations from the thumbnails that he's posted on YouTube and all the individual posts he's made on Instagram. There's no reason for me to spend hundreds of hours to draw something that would look nothing like what he makes. Starting off on the cover, what actually goes on the cover? Like, what are his actual best cartoons? To find this, I didn't want to sort by view count because what works on YouTube doesn't necessarily mean that was the most enjoyed because YouTube is so heavily reliant on the thumbnail and the title packaging. I didn't want to sort by engagement either because I'm assuming every comment is a bot now, and virality of like short form content wouldn't work because the videos he makes are not purely intended for short form. So who better to ask than people on his subreddit? I went and I made a post asking what people would classify as the best and most iconic cartoons from his channel over the years, and I think there's a little bit of a miscommunication because every person recommended his second channel videos on the Papa Meat channel. So I was getting like the tier list videos and like the Wendy's like training videos and some videos on Patreon, which after some clarification though, I pretty much found the main thing was Wabbit Season, which is actually, if you don't know, it was posted like 5 years ago and it was immediately copyright striked in 3 days and then got removed. So I thought, genius idea, perfect opportunity, put that lost episode on the DVD. So then there's like, more unique content on the physical portion than what you can just find on YouTube. That was kind of it for responses though. So low key, I went and just picked out what I thought was the most like culturally relevant or got like a bunch of people online reacting to more MeatCanyon's content and kind of put him more on the map along with them being still relatively recent. There were a lot of tunes I wanted to put on the DVD, which again, if this was made, I'm assuming this would work in seasons or volumes, so you could actually have a lot. Also, DVDs back in the 2000s really only had like a 40 to 70 minute time cap. So the 12 I chose was Wabbit Season, Just Beyond the Golden Arches, Chick-fil-A Sauce, Gumballs in the Park, Let's Go DaBaby, Blue Clue, The Steve Harvey Stare, Passion of the Craft, Lasagna, King of Mukbang, YouTube Music Critic, and Tragedy of a Reaction Streamer. Now I had all the cartoons I wanted. I literally did 2 sketches on paper and got my exact thoughts out of my brain onto paper, which was pretty cool. Then I could start with the typography. And again, I looked at the YouTube banner MeatCanyon has on his channel because that's like the main place that he shows his branded typography. And I didn't want to just have have the cartoon characters on the front, just because I feel like that would feel a little disconnected from who MeatCanyon actually is. You would just know him as a creator and kind of like almost like Disney, where it's just like a brand making creators. So fortunately, I went through his Instagram and he did a self-portrait a couple months ago. So I thought, crop out the drawing of himself and then put that in the front and have all the cartoon characters behind him. So it kind of shows that everything came from him, which it did. To my surprise, most of the cartoons I added on the DVD actually had the cartoon characters just freely drawn on Instagram with a white background. So that made my life completely easy because I didn't have to scroll through any video and take a low resolution screenshot. Also, side note, I think this is probably a bad thing, but the generative fill on certain sections, like DaBaby's arm and lower half to fill in this gap, was perfect. After adjusting all the placement of the characters, I went and added a drop shadow in between each character so there was a bit more depth to the front. Then added a Wabbit season kind of text promo to get people hooked in as to like why the DVD would stand out amongst everything online. And yeah, record time, front design for anything I've ever made. Moving to the back, I looked at some 2000s DVDs of what actually has to go in the back and then what is featured. So like special features, languages, episodes, the description and the title, just more information that is an extension of the cover, because naturally, if you pick up a DVD, you're curious, you're gonna read more about it on the back. I also looked at some like Goosebumps books and some other like horror VHS tapes, because I know that's a big inspiration for MeatCanyon in general, which again, you can kind of tell the Goosebumps inspiration was heavily shown on the front. Then I added another illustration of MeatCanyon actually like drawing, because I thought that was a cool addition, and another drawing of MeatCanyon himself. But I mainly looked at Family Guy's DVD. That was a big piece of inspiration because I needed to know what legally went on the back, and then also like what warnings I needed, because Family Guy has some vulgar language and also some intense graphics, and MeatCanyon kind of falls in the same category. So there's the summary, there's the episodes, there's the special features, which again, I kind of just added what people recommended on the subreddit, which was his most popular second channel videos, along with whatever videos would be on Patreon. I feel like that would make sense because it's the same thing. And then all the DVD specifications that goes on the bottom, and like warnings and like legal text or whatever. Funny how the logo for the FBI, like don't pirate this DVD or whatever, that's a crime. Yeah, that logo was fully available with the transparent background on Google to copy and paste into Photoshop. And the last small detail was to add a barcode. Now, if you haven't watched any of the videos before, I typically like adding a small Easter egg in the barcode just because, I don't know, I think it's fun. For example, in the Prime video, I think I had that QR code translate to like KSI LP Prime or something. And then in the Sambucha video, I didn't even say that I made the code translate to subscribe 10 million or 10 million subs, because he just hit that. I totally forgot. So for this, I made it say Papa Meat. So the letter in the alphabet translated to the number. So like P equals 16, and then A equals 1, and then, you know, so on. So it spells Papa Meat, and that's the back. And as they say, work smarter, not harder. I duplicated this entire back layout design for the Melvin's Macabre design. First, for the front of the Melvin DVD, I actually used a thumbnail that he didn't even use for the video. It was actually posted on his Instagram, where it's in that like really harsh 3D lighting almost. And I wanted to make sure to use this style, unlike kind of like a screenshot from his regular cartoons, because then they distinctively look very different. So I started with this thumbnail. I wanted the overall cover to be really dark and isolating, so Melvin was like by himself, which if you watch the series, that's very fitting for his character. It took quite a bit of time though to isolate him from this thumbnail, because there was a lot of backlighting on his hair with like red and blue, and I wanted the whole feel to be very like Tim Burton, really gray, really dark, almost monochrome. So I went and played with some blending styles and some brushes with his hair. And then on the back, the last 3 photos I had of Melvin, I thought it'd be cool to have in the style of like the Bohemian Rhapsody music video, where it's like the heads that fade into the darkness, because again, that shows different emotions of Melvin that is portrayed in the DVD that you've bought, you're about to watch. But all of them were in completely different lit environment. So I had to play again around with like changing the blues and reds so they all seemed somewhat gray. After a while, I thought this turned out really good, and it perfectly fit up the space that was all awkward from the random like summary I included on the left. Now that I had the back done, I saved and found that this mock-up really can't show the textures that I added in the dark on like that back wall for the front. I originally wanted a separate mock-up for both projects so you could see they were 2 different projects, but yeah, you couldn't see any of the work that I put time into, so I ended up switching the mock-up to be the same as the Best of Toons one. Then I made the spine and the design that would go on the physical disc for both the Best of Toons and the Melvin DVD, and I still didn't feel like this was enough work to sell the whole like MeatCanyon DVD idea, so I thought, what else is a part of this whole experience when you watch a DVD? The menu screen. I found a perfect old, eerie, creepy TV mock-up that, again, perfect vibe for MeatCanyon. So I started with the pink textured background that's on the front of the DVD, and then add the play, episodes, special features, and languages, just as basic options. I don't actually know what else would be included, and I didn't want to make other screens because I kind of ran out of illustrations of MeatCanyon. For the icon that would go next to the menu item that you're selected on, I could have just gone with like a line underneath the word, but I feel like that's really boring. Plus, MeatCanyon has a really maximalist and detail-oriented style, so I did some digging online and I found a illustration of an eyeball, which actually seemed pretty close to his style of illustration, and I thought that worked perfectly as an eyeball because it's like what you're about to watch. Then off camera, I actually didn't get it recorded, but I thought it would make sense because a lot of DVDs show kind of like a preview video when you're on the menu screen, and then it loops and then it pisses you off, right? So I added a mask just as like an oval inside this square. You'll see at the end of this animation because I make it look good. Now for Melvin, I extended the front cover so the light would actually shine on the wall, exposing the texture and the menu item so it'd be even easier to read. And maybe I was doing the most here, but I thought it would be cool to have a line on the wall be what's casting the letters to be the shadow, if that makes sense. So like the line would be standing up from a top view of the flashlight, and it would be showing the play or the episodes, and that would be the shadow. That didn't look good at first when it was horizontal, so then I changed it to vertical, and with this vertical kind of bar sticking out, I thought it would be something like on the wall, not like a nail or anything, but I don't know if this is making sense. I don't even know how to show what my brain was thinking, but I wanted to have the text be kind of like a shadow on the wall, and this wasn't really working, so I went back to the line being horizontal and I kind of gave up. I thought it looked really cool, and it kind of works, but at the end of the day, if you don't see that like top-down perspective with the shadow, you can at least see that the line is still highlighting the play, the episode, special features, whatever you're wanting to select. So for anyone wanting to go back to physical media, here are 2 MeatCanyon DVDs. These I thought turned out great. This was a really short project that I thought would be really fun and seemed really possible for MeatCanyon to actually sell. Like I saw the Melvin's Macabre manga actually was sold out on his store, so I'm assuming people may still want more other physical art from him. So again, I thought this would be really cool to add on. Originally, I also wanted to make this physically, like get the DVD case, get the DVDs, package it, and send it to MeatCanyon because he has a PO box linked in his Instagram highlights. But when I reached out, I didn't get a response. Plus, I thought it would be weird to screen record all his like artwork and then put it on a DVD and then give it back to him. So yeah, this is just the mock-up for now. So let me know your thoughts if you'd buy this or if you think physical art form's cool. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.